Leaky gut, brain fog, digestive problems, sluggish, headaches, fatigue, bloating, skin problems, inflammation, arthritis, depression, anxiety, ADHD, constipation, IBD. Hi, I'm health and wellness coach Charlene Fell with my company Living to Wellness. I am so excited. I have just partnered with an amazing plant-based all-natural green company called Aluva. Do you suffer with some of these health symptoms? Well, with our amazing products, Aluva supplements may give your body what it needs to begin healing itself. If you want to learn more about Aluva Health Awareness, contact me, Charlene Fell, your personal health and wellness coach, at 832-910-9662. And that was 832-910-9662. Your health is in your hands. Your health is in your hands.
Hello, everybody. Hello to all of you tonight. We thank you so very much for joining us on this blessed and beautiful Tuesday night. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Permit me to speak to some of you before we start our show. Shannon Odell, Tracy Horton, Sharon Boone, K. Epps Williams, Cynthia Goodman, Judith Wooten, Miss Enise Elliott, Margaret Massey, Audrey Smith, Cornita Chambers, and more. We say good evening and thank you so very much. We do have a very informational program for you on tonight. I call it a testimony in itself, where she was and where God has allowed her to be now. And we want you to listen, and we want you to be encouraged and know that it's never too late for you to start. Miss Eartha Gilbert, how are you? Mr. Wilbert Gaines, how you doing? Miss Mamie Mitchell, how are you? Miss Doris Johnson, how are you? Miss Elaine Hopkins, how are you? I feel somewhat better. The hikers have started. Let me fix him for a second. Let's see. Block. And I need to delete. Yeah, there you go, right there. I need to delete him. It's amazing how they come on and try to interrupt your program. But anyway, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm trying to delete as many comments as he has made. Miss Elaine Hopkins, Yolanda Pillar Jackson, Miss Mabel Williams, Miss Juanita Burnett. We thank all of y'all for tuning in. Let us bring our special guest on tonight. Her name is Miss Kesha Hayes, and Kesha is, I call her a go-getter. She's a go-getter. And when you hear her story, when you hear her story, you're going to be inspired. When you see what God has brought her from, you will be inspired. And to those of you who are coming on, when you see me do this, I'll just be waving at you because I won't interrupt while she's talking. So Kesha, welcome to my platform.
Thank you so much for having me. I miss you, but I I love you so much. Your prayers are
Mm,
always with me. You're always checking on me. I can't thank you enough.
I
I
miss you
can't thank
too.
you enough.
I miss
And,
you and that
and Joseph.
that good Joseph, but that good Christmas dinner. Whew. And I think it was her mom made the best chitlins. Oh my God. See, I didn't forget that. It was
Oh
good.
my gosh.
It was good.
Yes, well, thank you so much for being a part of our lives, and thank you for what you do every single day for other people and how you make things happen for people who may not even be known. You
Mhm,
did that for me, and so
mhm.
I just appreciate you so much.
Well, tell the people who you are,
Hmm.
and I want you to tell them who you are and what you do. But I want you to tell them how you got there, the struggle and getting there.
Okay, so hi everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Kesha L. Hayes. I always put the L in the middle because there are a lot of Keisha Hayeses I discovered, and I just distinguish myself with the L so people can find me. And so I am a nurse and I'm also a community residential care administrator. So that just means that I have a license in the state of South Carolina to run any assisted living community. I also have a master's in healthcare administration and human resources. So I've done a lot of transformational leadership in healthcare. I help people professionally grow and strategize their future. I also am a health and wellness consultant, and I also am a leading expert in aging. I love aging beauties, and these are individuals with exemplary wisdom who should be celebrated and valued daily. So I'm talking about our older adults. I
Mhm,
love our older adults. So for me, the struggle has been real. If anybody tells you that entrepreneurship is easy,
mhm,
they are lying. Well, you know what? Maybe it might be easy to them, and that's their testimony. But for
mhm,
me, everybody I've talked to, it is not for the weak. Okay, you
mhm,
have got to get your big girl panties on or your big boy boxers on, and roll up your sleeves and really do what you've been called to do.
mhm,
I
mhm,
did not know that I wanted to be doing what I'm doing right now. I actually was working for several different companies, but I always knew that my light was so bright that I needed to go somewhere else and have my own. And I found that the light was so bright, God was calling me out to something greater. So
mhm.
I have really, struggled for a while of what my purpose was and what I needed to do. But I'm telling you, when God gets a hold of you,
Yes.
and he puts something inside of you, that fire in you, you
Mhm,
can't do anything but what he is telling you to do. You'll never be satisfied. You'll never really be able to sleep at night. You'll always be missing something. It'll be a void because when he tells us to do something, we don't listen. He is going to make sure you do that very thing. So
mhm.
that was that push in me, that nudge in me. So everything I tried to do, the plan that I made for myself, it didn't work out.
Mhm,
But the plan that God gave me, once I started answering the call, then everything started falling into place. So
mhm.
I have been really I've been through a lot. So I want you to know that you can face adversity and you can still make it.
Yes.
You can go through so many different things and you can still make it.
Mhm.
For me, God is number one, and I faced all sorts of things. I faced the haterade.
Yes.
I faced people calling different entities on me, trying to get the business shut down. I have faced so much. I never really knew people could be so mean until I started my own business. And I mean, and my focus is not on mean people. My focus is on, you have to look at the positivity and everything, because that's the only way you'll keep going. But what I'm trying to say is adversities did come, things happen, people did things, um, everything was thrown at me, but you have to have the determination within yourself that
Mm-hmm.
what God has placed in you, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do it. And you have to think that if He has given you a purpose, He has
Mm-hmm.
automatically given you a provision to be
Mm-hmm.
able to fulfill that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do anything
Mm-hmm.
of and through yourself. It has to be through Him. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're out here making decisions on your own, and you're out here doing things on your own without God,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna you're not gonna go far. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
tell people all the time, I own businesses. God is the owner. I'm just the administrator of His estate.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
He rules everything. I could be here
Mm-hmm.
all day telling people what I went through, but I just want to encourage you that if you have ever faced adversity, please know that you are not alone, and
Mm-hmm.
that even on your weakest days, and
Mm-hmm.
even the times when you think God is not with you, He is
Mm-hmm.
with you. He's already gone before you. He
Mm-hmm.
has already set the stage so that you can get through what you're going through. He's in the hills and the valleys,
Mm-hmm.
both, because He put you in both places. So just
Mm-hmm.
keep
Mm-hmm.
allowing Him to do great things. And so, when I turned my life to Him and allowed Him to really lead and guide me, things were a little different, and I didn't pay any attention to people that were hating on me, or people calling try to get my business shut down, or people not wanting to collaborate because they're intimidated, or they think that you're going to get something that they're not going to get, the crab in the bucket syndrome type of thing that we still face in our times. um, but I don't focus on that. If you don't want to work with me, I'm gonna find somebody else. Okay, or God's gonna send me someone else. If things aren't falling into place, then I'm gonna go to the next thing. You just have to keep going, and your focus has to be like a laser.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have your eyes on everything around you. You gotta stay focused. And so, just like a horse when they're racing, they have those blinders on purpose for them to focus on the race ahead. And that's what you have to do. You have to look at the prize that you're trying to gain,
Mm-hmm.
and get to it.
Let me ask you something, Keisha. I follow you from the beginning, and you have kept going. You kept going. I've seen how God bless you from one step to another. How important is it for the letting God be the forefront of your business and what you're trying to do?
That's huge. That's so huge. All our help comes from Him.
Mm-hmm.
Our strength, every good and perfect gift comes from Him. Even the things that you do, or the things that are inside of you to do, that wasn't acquired by you. It
Mm-hmm.
was placed in you by Him. So
Mm-hmm.
all the glory belongs to Him, and
Mm-hmm.
and not of your own. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so important, because it's whether or not you're going to survive. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually life or death.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because when you take Him out of the equation, arrogance sets in. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
humility leaves, arrogance sets in, and then you're not walking in the path that He has given you. You're
Mm-hmm.
not listening to His guidance, so you're going to
Mm-hmm.
start doing things on your own, and you're going to make a wreck. You're going to make a mess of things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important for you to keep Him first, so that, not that you can slide through easily and not face adversities, but he got to be there for you when you go through those things. You need him for every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need him for
How,
everything.
how disappointing is it? You're doing your best. You're building your brand, and that person that you thought was close to you is trying to bring you backwards.
Whew, my. So I had an individual. Okay, we're small businesses, so I believe this is a safe space and a brave space
Mm-hmm.
for me to really speak and really speak truth. Okay, um, so I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a small business owner and I employ individuals in my business. So when I employ you in my business, that means that I'm taking business funds that I'm collecting and I'm paying you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you work for Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a corporation, a franchise and all of that. They're bigger than me, the small business, but they give you a check just like I give you a check.
Mm-hmm.
So the same faith and diligence that you put into Chick-fil-A, you should put into small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this individual that I invested in, and they helped me in my organization, and they were right there with me every single day, smiling in my face, just really, really acting like they were helping me. But the discernment of God told me that they were not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But me, Kesha, who always loves to help and give people the benefit of the doubt, I did not listen to God. Let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you one thing, when God gives you something in your gut and
Mm-hmm.
you're discerning that something is not right, if you don't listen to him, you're going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And if a person shows you who they are, you don't need them to show you 10 times. You need to know the first time that's who they are, and you need to part ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't listen. But it was so hurtful to know that when I was not in the office, there were phone calls being made out of the office to try to sabotage me. There was even theft in the office by this person. So I'm telling you, right up under your nose, doing things that
Mm-hmm.
you you don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're in tune with God and you're still and know, be still
Mm-hmm.
and know, and you're listening to Him, He'll tell you and He'll give you signs, but you have to obey the signs and listen,
Mm-hmm.
or you will pay the consequences, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll keep that person around, and they'll do damage to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hurtful to know that you took a chance on someone and they didn't take a chance on you, and you were loyal to them and they were not loyal to you. But
Mm-hmm.
but thankfully, God gives us signs so that we can move those people on out, but it's us that need to listen to the signs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a hurtful thing, it really is.
And I ask you that because I faced that myself. You want to help people, and you want to push people, and you want people to get what God rightfully has for them. You're
Hmm.
trying to do it the right way. Oh, and they're trying to do it the undercover way.
Right,
and
right.
and I was in the same situation you was in. God told me what it was.
Hmm.
And Keisha, I said, no, God, that not that person.
Uh-huh.
I'm just being transparent. I said, no,
Yeah.
God, not that person. Because, that person was right there. And
Hmm.
then when it happened, what could I say but God, you were right.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was
God doesn't lie.
mm-hmm,
He doesn't lie. We we
mm-hmm,
we don't want to see, for
mm-hmm,
some reason, we don't want to see the bad in others.
mm-hmm,
We want to give people the benefit of the doubt. We
mm-hmm,
want to see the good in them, and we want to see, maybe they'll change. That's
mm-hmm,
how, when you're a woman or a man and you're dating somebody, and they show you a red flag, well, let me just keep on dating them and see whether or not, they're going to change. And then they never change. And then you end up getting married. And then you wondering what kind of husband or wife you got. But I don't know who this is for, but you knew who they were before you got married.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's just an
Yeah.
analogy. I like to go there with the marriage. I'm not married, y'all, okay? But I do know the word of God. So I do know some things, but you gotta be obedient. You gotta look at people's actions and not what they say. Sometimes we can listen to what people say, and people have a gift for gab, and they can make you feel so good with their words, and they can charm you just like a snake. I'm telling you, they are the best at it. And then, the actions don't match up to their words. If they're not showing you what you need to see with your eyes, you don't need to be worrying about what you hear with your ear.
That's right. Now you say that again. Say that
if
again.
if what they're saying, you can't. What I'm saying is, if somebody's actions aren't something you can see with your eyes, what they're saying doesn't need to matter in what you're hearing with your ears, because it's not adding up. And like Ron Harvey, I know you know Ron Harvey.
Yes, yes.
He said that your audio must match your video.
Wow.
Your audio, what you're saying out of your mouth, must match your video. If it's not matching, the person is a fraud. Okay. You gotta watch what people do, not what they say.
And you better believe I do. But tell us what you do. Tell us a little bit about what you do now, because we could be on that all night.
I know, right?
Yes.
So God is so good. He, has allowed me in 7 years to have several businesses. So I own Professional Development and Training Services. It's a Southeastern premier institution. We offer healthcare curriculum here so that we can train exceptional caregivers and produce next level healthcare professionals. So we offer phlebotomy, EKG, medical assistant, nurse aide, and medication technician. We have classes that run from 5 weeks to 6 months. Okay. You can take them in the evening. You can take them online virtually. It's very flexible. We have payment plans. We have state and government sponsors as well. Then we have Caring for Aging Beauties. It's a nonprofit that shows social engagement and companionship to our older adults. But in that same name, we have an LLC for the home care, where we provide services to elderly people in their homes. And then now we have something called Rena Wellness. Rena is my maternal grandmother. She's no longer living. She's deceased. She's my mom's mother, my grandmother. And I named a wellness business after her. My grandmother was exactly what Rena stands for: revitalizing, enriching, nurturing atmosphere. She was very vibrant, and she was about her self-care, and she was all about looking good and feeling good. So at Rena Wellness, if you are professional in any profession, you can come to our facility and sign out our wellness room. You can come in for 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and just relax. Listen to nice, calming music. Be in a place with salt lamps and nice smelling fragrances, burning candles, all that. Prop your feet up and just relax, free of charge. But if you want products to make you look good, you can buy our massage oil, collagen face cream. You can also come and do wood therapy, body sculpting to help with reducing cellulite.
Mm-hmm.
decreasing fat in your abdomen or whatever areas you want, your thigh. You can also get a massage.
Mm-hmm.
So we're promoting self-care to healthcare professionals, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
because they really don't get to care for themselves because they're so
Mm-hmm.
busy caring for other people. And then
Mm-hmm.
we also train individuals so that they can go out into the workforce and take care of our most vulnerable population, which are our older adults.
Mm-hmm. Um, um, Kesha, can you answer that question again?
Um, what is my business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carolyn. So the school is training healthcare professionals in EKG, phlebotomy, nurse aid, and medical assistant. The wellness business is massage therapy, body sculpting, self care, and then we have a home care agency that provides services in home for older adults, and we accept volunteers to go out and provide companionship and social engagement to our older adults.
Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody would like to reach you and get just about a little bit more,
Mhm.
let me ask you this before it leaves. You say you can take classes online. Do you have to be in South Carolina to take classes online?
So yes, so anywhere in South Carolina, because I'm with the South Carolina Commission on Higher Education, you can take a class online or virtually, and
Mm-hmm.
then we connect you um, to an entity in your area so that you can do your clinical rotation, your
Mm-hmm.
hands-on part.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on Georgia and Florida,
Mm-hmm.
allowing people there to be able to take our courses. But you have to go through the same entity, a post secondary institution, where you have to get licensed in those areas for that. So that's something that we're adding on and in the works. But for now, just South Carolina. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that.
You know, I like what you said. You can go and check out the room, and you can just lay there, listen to music, relax yourself. Um, Now, is the massage you have to pay for the massage?
You do, but we have a great rate. It's
Mm-hmm.
$79 an hour
Mm-hmm.
for a massage.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, you're paying over $100 for an hour massage at some
Yeah.
places. But we're here to make things affordable for the individuals who give so tirelessly and selflessly to
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy these things for gifts for the holidays. If there's anybody getting married and there's a bridal party, or just anything, parties. I mean, you can incorporate these things. Our caregiver gala that's coming up on this Saturday, we're going to have all these businesses listed um, or exposed there, so they'll be out in tables. So
Mm-hmm.
what I just shared with you, you can get more information. But
Mm-hmm.
I can also um, guide you to my website. If you want to reach me, it's Kesha Hayes. I don't know how I can write that in the chat, but it's Kesha Kesha Hayes all together HAYES.com. KeshaHayes.com. And you can go to
Well,
my
why?
website and
Say it again. Ke what?
KeshaHayes.com. KeshaHayes.com.
K
Hi,
E
Miss
S
Lane.
H A
H
H
A
A W E S dot
no
com.
YES.
Not a W.
No
Okay.
YES.
There it
Yeah.
goes. It's up there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, there you go.
Mhm.
Um, I want the Caring for Aging Beauties nonprofit to be established in other areas where people can volunteer all over the world to assist older adults.
Mhm.
So thank you for putting that out there, Miss Elaine. And you also said, I've never heard of a place offering such pleasure for older adults. This is unique and awesome. Thank you so much. I
Mhm.
really appreciate that.
Wh-
I want to tell you the story about how I fell in love with older adults, if I can, Loretta.
mhm.
So, when I was younger, there was an oak tree in front of my grandparents' house. And I grew up in Camden, South Carolina, and I lived in a house that my grandfather built, my mom's dad. And it was about 16 of us that lived in that little green shack.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody in Camden wanted to be at our house because the love that was displayed in the house. It wasn't what we had, but the love that was displayed. Well, there was this oak tree in front of the house, and the older people from the neighborhood would sit under the oak tree and talk about so many different things. And I would never want to go play with people my age. I would always sit under the oak tree and listen until there was something that I, as a young person, couldn't hear. You know, they would say, "Grown
Mm-hmm.
folk got to talk. You got
Yeah.
to leave."
Yeah.
So it was listening to them talk under that oak tree where I saw that older adults, these people aren't old and decrepit.
Mm-hmm.
These people are vital to our society. I had
Mm-hmm.
what I call now today an oak tree experience, a aha
Mm-hmm.
moment, a moment of discovery, which all
Mm-hmm.
of us can have a moment of discovery. I said, you know what, these people aren't old and decrepit. They're not people that's living to die. These are people that are vital, who have paved the way for us, who
Mm-hmm.
have so much wisdom. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, we should keep these people alive and support them and display their wisdom. So that it started there. The seed started there. I didn't know in the future I would be doing this, but this, when I think about it, it was planted back then. It was really planted back then.
Why do you think people, not everybody, but why do you think some children won't take care of their older parents?
Oh my goodness. I have an older parent that's living, both my mom and dad, and my mom needs care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's five of us,
Mm-hmm.
and three of us carry the burden, but one of us carried the burden in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because one lived with my mom, and um, we all shared a different responsibility, whether it be caring, finances, or whatever the case may be. But when I first started out needing to provide care for my mom, for us, it was fear that we wasn't going to be able to provide the right care. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I'm a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
it's your own mom, so it's your own parent. You're fragile because mentally you don't want to see your parents in that state of needing care.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like we were not active in providing care. But there are other people who are able to provide care for their parents and won't do it and won't even offer help for someone else to do it. But I know, being in the healthcare industry and working with aging adults, they will come by the house when it's time for their social security check to drop,
Mm-hmm.
and they will get money from them and exploit them financially, go about their business and still leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite get that part, but some people just don't have they don't have the thing in them that causes them to say, I'm going to do for my parent like they did for me. You know, what if your parent left you as a child and did not provide the care for you, and now they're in their older adult age and you won't do the same for them? I mean, I, sometimes I just don't understand. Sometimes it could be fear. Sometimes it could just be, they can't because they work too and have a family that they have to provide for, and caring for a parent takes them away from providing the needs to their family. Or they could just be plain old trifling individuals and just not care. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it on all different levels. And what I would say to families, go ahead and create a plan now for your loved one so that it's in place before a catastrophic event happens, before a fall happens, before um, something happens, that you have to put something in place to care for your your loved one, because you don't want to be struggling trying to do it at the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
It, it, it will just be chaotic. It will be
Mm-hmm.
very stressful. So get a plan in place. Just like we plan for everything else, we need to plan for the future of our older adults. We
Mm-hmm.
really do.
Carolyn said, because they don't want to be tied down, you got to have compassion to do it. And I totally agree with that.
That's exactly right,
You
Carolyn.
got to have compassion. If you got to be mean to your parents, let them go on to a nursing home.
Oh my
Don't
God.
be mean to them,
No,
because
no.
that's horrible. I can't stand to see anybody mean to a senior,
Oh yes.
helpless. I tell people, if you have to put your parents in a nursing home,
Mhm.
go see them every day if you can. Because when
Yes.
you go see them, they treat them better. And don't go at the same time, go different times. And if you got more than one, if they're more than one sibling, y'all go different times and keep going. Because sometimes you have to put them in there. But make sure that they're taken care of, and just show up. Don't tell them when you're coming, and
No.
you'll see how they're taking care of your loved one.
Another thing, that's great what you mentioned. Another thing is, if you have to put your loved one in a nursing home, assisted living community, whatever facility, you need to examine that place before you send them.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you need to look for when you're looking for a nursing home is that, or an assisted living community, you need to know how long their staff have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they got people rotating back and forth in and out, something is causing the staff to leave. Might be poor leadership. You need to walk the halls and make sure you're not smelling urine and foul smell, because 9 times out of 10, someone is not being attended to
Mm-hmm.
properly. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what facility you live in, it should be nice, clean, and the odor should be pleasant.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
You
mhm,
you also need to make sure you're popping up to visit
mm,
at different times before you send them there, because
mhm,
sometimes when the marketing director knows that you're coming to visit and take a tour, they got everything ready and lined
mhm,
up for you to show you the very best of the facility.
mhm,
So pop up sometimes and just act
mhm,
like you are a secret shopper or something, and you're
mhm,
asking questions. And then, like Miss Loretta said, when you get your loved one in that nursing home or assisted living facility, it's a shame that we have to say this in this day and time, but it is the truth. You have to go visit, because if you're not visiting, they're not going to provide your loved one with what they deserve, not what they need, what they deserve, because they're going to think that they don't have anybody that really cares for them, so they just going to treat them
mhm,
any kind of way.
mhm,
And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Now, I want to believe and hope that we have more good caregivers out there than we do bad. But realistically, we see on the news, people are still abusing our loved ones, our older adults, and it happens. So we
mhm.
have to make sure that we are the eyes and ears for them. And
That's
and
right.
and my nonprofit, it allows you to be volunteers to go to these facilities and check on these individuals. They don't have to be
Mhm,
their loved ones. They can be somebody that you just want to be a pen pal to.
mhm. You have a question.
Do you offer exercise services? I know a lot of older adults that want to attend. We do. We have a calendar that comes out every year. We will have the calendar posted on our website, probably by the end of the month. You can go to KeshaHayes.com and you will see the other brands and services out there. And you can find that calendar and you can share it. And we would be more than happy to have you come and have those things facilitated for you. Now, we have those things in Lugoff, but if I find that there are older adults or people wanting to engage in adult exercise classes other places, we do partner with a lot of individuals. We can get you somewhere closer to you. So please don't think because of where we house that we don't have the resources, because we do. Oh, Debbie, I see this. You know what? Keep doing what you're doing. I know that it's a lot. I do want to encourage you every time you can to provide self care to yourself, because if your cup is not overflowing and you're pulling from an empty cup, you're going to weigh yourself down and then you're not going to be good for yourself or your mom. If you ever want to take a breather, please go to my website, call me, contact me. Matter of fact, you can put my cell number out there for people, or my business number, Miss Loretta, and you can come to the wellness room and relax. I would love to love on you. I really would.
I think you got another one.
It says you need to check it out because some are there for the pay. You gotta have love. But I was a supervisor and I walked the hall, so pull to the side. Okay, well that's great, Carolyn. You know, when you have a good leader in a healthcare facility, they're gonna come morning, noon, and night, and they're gonna check and inspect and make sure their employees are doing the right thing. So that's kudos to you. You have to be watching, you know, and all of us have to imagine that it is us laying there needing care, because all of us are going to need somebody to take care of us at one point in time of our lives.
I deal with seniors and on my job, and even before then, when I was on the radio, the seniors would call in, and you'll be busy, but you have to talk to them. They say things like, we gave our best for our children, we sacrificed, sent them to college, they got their good job now, they don't think about mama, they don't think about daddy. I've heard those stories over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. It almost brings tears to my eyes every time I talk about it. I know you probably hear my voice changing, but you know, having to deal with so many older adults that sit in their room or sit at home and they watch the four walls and they stare and they don't have no one to talk to. Imagine how lonely and isolated and depressed they are. Isolation and loneliness is about in every 1 to 4, 1 to 5 older adult. That causes depression, that causes negative health outcomes. If a person is in their room all day and nobody visiting them, you think they want to take their high blood pressure medication or their diabetic medication? No, they don't want to live because they don't think nobody cares about them. So the effect is not, it shouldn't be personal on you as the child saying, I don't got time. You should think about the effect it has on your mom or dad. And I'm located in South Carolina in Lugoff, South Carolina. And yes, we do have virtual services, fitness. We have physicians, providers that come on and talk health topics. We have live demonstrations of different recipes, people cooking. So please make sure you get in touch with me on KeshaHayes.com so you can get all these resources.
And then in Kesha, in a day and time like this, when things are happening in the world, it's even more important to check on your parents or your grandparents.
It is. It really is. Crime has increased, and then over the holidays, it gets worse because sometimes people don't have the funds to buy gifts for their families and they're trying to, be like the Joneses, and they feel like they're out of place because they don't have this and that to offer. So there are a lot of robberies and different things
Mhm.
happening in different areas.
Mhm.
We see on the news where there's abuse still in nursing homes where people aren't supposed to be having abuse because there's around the clock care 24 hours, 7 days a week. But if you
Mhm.
can't go to the nursing home and the assisted living communities and be safe, imagine being at home by yourself and somebody know that you're elderly at home.
Mhm.
That's why it's important. And I love the fact that there are police departments and officers that do wellness checks and they do the elderly checks and rounds to make sure people are okay. I love
Mhm.
that. I absolutely
Mhm.
love that. We
Mhm.
need more of that. We really do. And we need more volunteers to go to these entities and visit these residents who don't have family members so that you can not only just engage socially with them, but you can lay your eyes on them to see have their hair been combed today?
Mhm.
Does it look like they've been eating or do they look like they're malnourished? You can see it. You can see a lot when you visit somebody.
Mhm.
You can see a lot. And there are
Mhm.
resources out there.
Mhm.
You can get in touch with DHEC and the Ombudsman program and let people know that somebody is in need
Mhm.
being checked because you see something that might not be right. Um,
Mhm.
so please love on these older adults. I'm gonna say this: I can't be sitting in my seat right now doing the things that I do if it wasn't for an older person that came before me and did it.
Mhm.
I sit literally on the shoulders of my ancestors.
Mhm.
Because of them, I can. They
Mhm.
paved the way for me. And
Mhm.
I get teary eyed because I just recently became the first female president of the Camden Lions Club, a
Mhm.
club where sometimes only white men were invited.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so now I sit at the table, and I sit at the table not just for me, but I sit
Mhm.
at the table for people that are
Mhm.
behind me to come. So
Mhm.
not only am I climbing so that I
Mhm.
can reach higher heights, but I'm
Mhm.
climbing so that somebody behind me can have
Mhm.
a chance. Because I'm
Mhm.
not going to turn my back on people
Mhm.
that's behind me. I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab them and I'm going to pull them forward with me
Mhm.
because that's what we're supposed to do as a community.
Mhm. That's wonderful, Keisha. That's wonderful, and you are doing great things.
Thank you so much.
Um, I mean, such great things. It's if you would have quit,
Yeah.
a lot of people wouldn't have had hope.
Hmm. They
But
wouldn't.
because you kept going, you helped save a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, and we all can learn something by what you are saying tonight because it does not have to be our mother, it does not have to be our father, our auntie, but we can know someone who's living
Yes.
by themselves. Hey, do
Exactly.
you have Christmas dinner?
Right.
um you know, I'm gonna purchase your Christmas dinner. I'm gonna order you Christmas dinner. You may have somebody that need their grass cut. You know, you have these young guys coming around wanting to cut grass, but you don't want them young guys around them older people because they could be innocent and they could be seeing who
That's
lives with them.
that's
So
right.
you got to be careful. Don't be a neighbor that sit in the house and say, well, they over there and I'm over here. If you got a senior citizen by themselves, check on them.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
That's exactly right. Um,
Hmm.
and if I would say one thing, today, I just want you all to understand that it should never be about you. It should never be about you. And I'm reiterating what Miss Loretta just said. It should always be you, always thinking of someone else.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to take care of you. And
Hmm.
yes, you know, do that and put yourself first. But it does not hurt for you to check on someone else and to see what someone else needs. Your blessings are tied into what you do for someone else.
Hmm.
That's where your blessings lie.
Absolutely.
And so, you have to make sure that you help somebody. And listen, don't be
Hey.
don't be afraid that you're going to miss out on what God has for you, because what God has ordained,
Mm-hmm.
ain't no man stop. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if 5 other schools come down the street from me, or 5 other live ministries like Miss Loretta come in the atmosphere. If God is for you, he's more than the entire world against you. Okay.
Yes,
So, don't even worry about that. Have y'all seen that movie, Hidden Figures?
I
I
had.
know. Oh my, Miss Loretta.
Mm.
Hidden Figures. In that movie, Hidden Figures, there was these African American women, and they all had different talents and gifts. And they were not trying to discourage each other from their gifts and talents. They were just trying to do what they wanted to do by getting somewhere. Don't be intimidated by somebody else that might have something different than you.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, use your strength and
Mm-hmm.
collaborate with theirs,
Mm-hmm.
so that you all can make a difference. Where there's unity, there's strength. Stop all
Mm-hmm.
this hating and being messy.
Mm.
I gotta say that, Miss Loretta. Excuse me.
Mm.
The energy you put into trying to do somebody wrong, do somebody right. Help somebody. It
Mm-hmm.
is time out for all this foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is soon to come. I just want to say that.
Mm-hmm. And see, we think that we get away when we do underhanded stuff.
Oh my goodness.
You don't know what you're doing. And you really don't know what you're doing when you're doing it against somebody who's got they all wrapped up in
Yes.
God.
Yes.
That person who acknowledges and say, God, I'm doing this work for you,
Yes.
and you are the head of it. You have to be careful how you're fighting against that person, because you're not fighting against Kesha. You're fighting against God's work.
That's right. That's right. You're right, Sandra. We are better together. We
Mm-hmm.
are better together. And I am so excited about this Saturday. Let me tell y'all, I have my program booklet done, and Miss Loretta is in my program booklet this year. It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a picture that she had taken at one of my previous caregiver galas, and
Mm-hmm.
she's holding this gift box. Remember that gift box you won?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this Saturday, we are showing tribute to every caregiver that we could possibly know about.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't heard of that event, next year we're taking it to Columbia. I
Oh.
will, yeah, I will
Mm-hmm.
announce the location soon,
Mm-hmm.
but we're bringing it to Columbia, and this is something that we're going to take on the road. We
Mm-hmm.
want the whole world to know how important caregivers are, because I don't think they get the recognition that they deserve. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? When somebody is not doing something in our society, we can be the person that does it.
Mm-hmm.
We can be the person that do it. Okay, we can make a difference. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be calling on people like Miss Loretta and other people in Columbia to help me pull this together.
Mm-hmm.
I know it can happen, and I know it can be big. So stay tuned for that.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love what you're doing. I actually am gonna ask my boss, will he excuse me for Saturday night? We were together today at an event, but I'm gonna ask him, will he excuse me? Because I really do want to go to that. But let's see what he says.
Yes, let me know. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that will make my entire day.
I enjoy seeing what you do. And you know, if those of you who are in the area, if you let me she it's they recognize caregivers and some employees.
Mhm.
And then you have a nice dinner, and then you end with dancing, and it's just really,
Yeah,
really good. It's really, really good. And
yeah.
it would be good if you could get out and go. It's in Camden, South Carolina, for those of you who are in the area. But I'm gonna ask him, can he excuse me Saturday night?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
almost know what the answer gonna be, but I'm gonna ask him anyway.
Yeah, ask him. Don't hurt to ask.
Hmm.
Yep.
Carolyn said she thanked God for her. Well, let's see, for her children. They have love how I taught them. No matter they have love how I taught them. No matter who they are, everything God made is good.
That's right.
Everything God made is good. And you know one thing before I let you go that I can't understand. Hello, Patricia. It's about young folk.
Uh-huh.
They got to realize, especially if they got children,
Yes.
one day they're gonna get old too. So how you treat your parents, how you take care of your parents, how they see you take care of your parents, it's
Yes.
gonna come back on you one day.
We are responsible now as adults for
Mm,
how we raise our children. Our
mm,
children soak up everything that they see us do. They
mm,
don't really pay attention to what we say because I
mm,
talked about that earlier. They look at us,
mm,
okay? And
mm,
if they see certain things that we're doing, they're going to model that. So it's
mm,
our job to instill in our children now
mm, mm,
good things so that when they get older they will actually have those things embedded. And
mm,
yet we want to teach them that when they get older, take
mm,
care of their parents the way their parents took care of them. If we
mm,
instill that in there now, then
mm,
hopefully they will live by that. And that's why I said earlier, get something in place for
mm,
your loved ones before something bad
mm,
happens to them. Go ahead
mm,
and have these conversations with your children at a younger age
mm,
about how they need to help parents when they get older. You know,
mm,
let them see you take care of your parent. They
mm,
model what you do. Okay?
mm,
They model what you do. So we have a responsibility. And it's a village. When you
mm,
go to the grocery store and you see an older adult walking with all these groceries trying to get into her car, open the door for her. Or
mm,
it's little things that we
mm,
can do for someone
mhm,
that they
mhm,
can and will help them.
mhm. Yeah, but sometimes the bottom line is everybody too busy doing nothing, too busy doing nothing, and
That's
the attitude where it's not happening to me, it's not happening in my family. So I've heard this with my ears.
oh yeah, I
So
have.
why should I have? It's not happening to me.
Yeah. But when it happens, when
Mm-hmm.
it happens,
Mm-hmm.
you have to treat others the way you might need to have someone treat you later on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't ever know what situation you're gonna be in,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So do to someone else what you would expect or want to have done to you. Our
Mm-hmm.
older adults, you know, they might not always be right, but they're older and they deserve that we take care of them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I feel. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know,
baby.
hi
Mm-hmm.
Deborah.
Mm-hmm. It's really been a good event tonight, a good show, and you said a lot of things because I'm quite sure what we do. We have people that listen now, and then we have people that listen when we get off, and something that we said is going to help somebody. It's going to cause somebody to do better by their parents for Christmas. Now, how you? Oh, now this gonna be deep now. This gonna be
Oh, she's
deep now.
86 years old and she's still able to take care of herself. That's a blessing.
Oh, should I say that or should I not say
Say
it?
it. This your
But
show. Say it.
how you gonna sit in your house Christmas dinner, eating Christmas dinner, you and your husband and your children and your mama right down the street,
Mm. Well,
right
first,
down the street.
first, I'm going to pray that nobody's doing that, but I know that they are because I'm in the agent industry and I hear these stories all the time. But I'm going to pray that these people do better. But if you are sitting in your house eating your Christmas dinner and your parents are down the street and you won't go check on them, honor thy mother and thy father. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want God's hand to be against you. And karma does not have a deadline. You might think you're getting away with it today,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no way you can treat your parents any kind of way and don't think that you won't get repayment for that.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember, one day you're going to be older. That's one thing that we all, if God lets us live, we're not going to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
Aging is inevitable, but it does not have to be miserable, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And your parents shouldn't be living a miserable life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know we have this term aging in place, but I say aging in grace, because you can be in a place and you can be miserable and it could just be hell on earth for you. But your
Mm-hmm.
parents need to be living and aging in grace, where you're
Mm-hmm.
taking care of them and they're being loved and they're filled with joy. So I'm going to tell you all, we got to do better with making sure that we love on our older adults and we treat them the way we want to be treated. And we see them as if that will be us one day, because it will. If you live to be old, you will. You will be going through that. So please.
You got a question?
Oh, if someone wanted to partner with me, absolutely. Reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Would love to hear what you have going on, your ideas. Partnership to me is a mutual collaboration that benefits the both of us, but most importantly, it benefits who we serve. So I really, don't mind. So please reach out to me. That would be great.
What is your work number? We don't want you to give your personal number.
Okay. 803
Mm-hmm.
572 0780. And that is a number that does ring my office. If I'm not there, it will come to my cell, but you won't know my cell number. You'll just know that number.
Unfortunately, you got hikers out here, so I don't like for people to give their numbers out.
Yes, ma'am. You only get one mother and one father, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this. My pastor said this. A lot of times when you see them carrying on at the homegoing service, oh, I want to go with you, I want to go with, it's because of guilt. It's because of what they didn't do for their parents when they were here.
Yes. We all grieve differently, and it's going to be hurtful when your parents leave, no matter if you expect it or you don't. But God knows what you did for your loved one when they were here. And I tell my siblings all the time, and we tell each other, if you know you didn't do nothing for mama, don't come to the funeral acting like you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we gonna do, we gonna look at you and tell you to shut up. Medea said, put the shut to the up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put the shut to the up, because you're carrying on and you didn't do right.
Mm-hmm. And then be the first one want to fight over insurance money. Be the first one. You ain't did nothing. Not one bath. You didn't go buy no bottle of water. You didn't buy a bar of soap. But yet, when it's time for that will to be read, what we gonna do?
You want your name to be in it. And you know what? Oh my God, that is yes. Oh my goodness. I heard from an aging beauty that we will fight normally when it's death or when someone is getting married. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. Mm-hmm. If somebody's getting married, there's always drama around. If somebody died, there's always drama around. Mm-hmm. Death and marriage, okay? Mm-hmm. I guess somebody is coming into the family and somebody's leaving out, but no need to be hollering and acting that you not do what you're supposed to. If you did right by everybody in this world that you come in contact with, your conscience will be clear and you won't have to worry about it. But please know that everything you do, you can do it for people, but you better make sure you're doing it for God and that God is pleased, because doing it for others, it won't matter. Mm-hmm. It won't matter. You're right, Patricia, acting a fool.
I can a pure fool, and ain't been home, been up north. And this is really a true story. The mother died. He hadn't been home in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
30 years he hadn't been home. But when it was time for that will to be read, he
He
wanted
was
to know
right
where
there.
his money was. 30 years he hadn't been home. He
That's
didn't
sad.
send no birthday card. He didn't send no Mother's Day card or anything.
That's that is not right. We I'm calling. I'm making a plea tonight
Mm,
that we do better when it comes to our older adults. I have a friend who's from Mexico and
mm,
another friend that is from Puerto Rico. I find that these individuals who are in other areas and not here, in the states,
mm,
they don't do this to their parents. They
mm,
have um, a respect for older adults in their area, in their countries, in their other areas of the world. They value older adults more than we do sometimes in the
mm,
United States.
mm,
Okay, I'm making a plea tonight that we start looking at older adults differently and we start seeing
mm,
them for who they are, for wisdom, for vitality, for
mm,
what they've done to help us be who we
mm,
are today. Let us see them in a different light because
mm,
we're going to be there one day and we're going to need the same care that somebody else is not
mm,
giving them. Okay,
mm,
that's my plea tonight. And if you know someone who is an older adult that needs resources, a family that needs resources to help care for a loved one, but they can't on their own, reach out to us. Please reach out to us.
mm. I tell you, this has been good. This has been rich, and I appreciate what you're doing because people need to know. It's real serious, and you have a lot of young people that's so disrespectful to older people. Oh, that's my phone, but so disrespectful, so
Mhm.
disrespectful. And
Yes.
then I go back home, you have some kids that's disrespectful to their mom. They don't want them to come to their house because they got this nice house. And, mom got a habit of picking up a book and just laying it down. And I don't want the book there. Okay, move the book, but mom, leave and go home. Let her be comfortable,
Yeah, that's just foolishness right there.
It's just I've seen that. Mama, you
Uh-huh.
can't be you can't wear them shoes in here. And
Oh my.
they don't understand about um she said, I experienced that in July. People came out of the wood. They will come out every time. But if they don't understand that you don't want the white carpet. I mean, you to walk on the white carpet. Get a towel and put it down there where she gonna sit at, and put her feet on there.
Yes,
Don't beat
ma'am.
up on your mama because she don't want to take her shoes off. That's your
Adjust
mama.
your right. That's
Yeah.
your house, but you have an older adult.
Mm-hmm.
Adjust your house so that it can be you know, better for your mom. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would do. If I know my mom has to come and stay with me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to fix my guest room up so that it's suitable for her and what she has going
Mm-hmm.
on. But that's
Mm-hmm.
me. But if you
Mm-hmm.
know your mom is coming to your house and she makes accidents or have accidents or whatever the case may be, move the items that you don't want to be touched before she gets there. Or like you said, put something down on the carpet to protect it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but make the environment pleasant because, like they said, you only get one
Mm-hmm.
parent, and here
Mm-hmm.
you go. You can't put that white carpet or whatever it is in that coffin. So
Mm-hmm.
you just got to be careful. You just got to be
Mm-hmm. You
careful
have
how
to
you
be
speak.
careful.
Yes.
And that child that you praise, your child that you're praising and that you'll give the world might end up doing you the same way you doing your parents. Because they say, well, mama, you did mama like that, or mama, you did grandmama like that.
Yes.
So you just really do have to be careful.
Please let your actions speak for you. When you dead and
Mm,
gone, let the work I've done speak for me. Not
mm,
the words I say speak for
mm,
me. but what you did, let it speak for you.
Well, Kesha, we thank you. We know you got another appointment at 8:15. We thank you, and we thank everybody. I mean, such a wonderful audience. We're going to give you a hand
Yes,
because
thank
you're
you
such a
so much.
wonderful audience. You talk
Yes.
back and take the things
Oh,
that you learned tonight and share it with somebody else. And for God's sake,
yes,
if you know a senior who's going to be alone for the
right,
holidays, I mean, you might just go buy them an apple pie from the store. It don't have to be anything big. A bag of oranges, a bag of apples, just something to let them know that you're thinking about them.
and I just wanted to say to everybody that was on here today, thanks for the encouragement and all the comments I'm seeing about all of you that have taken care of your parents and wishing your parents were still here today. Um, God is going to bless you for what you did for your parents. And I didn't see all the names, but I'm personally going to say, to God tonight when I pray that He would bless you, and provide you with abundance and good health, just for doing that. So, I know you might miss your parent, and I don't know what it feels like to not have any of my parents not be here, but I just want to say, you know, thank you for what you did while your parents were here, and I hope that God's covering will be the replacement of the void that you have, and that you will make sure that your memories of your loved one live on through you and what you do in life. So I appreciate that.
It does make it easier. I can say because I don't have a mother, neither a father, but it made it easier for me because I cried, but I said I did what I could while they was here. So I didn't have them kind of regrets. I didn't have them guilt feelings
Yeah.
to say that I wish I had. I missed them, but I gave them their flowers while they
Yeah.
was here. And if they called me and they needed me, down 20, I go to Dillon County. And I
Right.
used to be on my job. I used to work for an attorney, and he be in court. And they called me and tell me that my daddy was sick or my mama was sick. I said, I am gone. And they would say, well, what about attorney so and so? I said, you tell him I'm gone. I can get another job. I can't get another mom and daddy.
That's
And I
right.
was gone. Nothing could keep
Speaking
me
of,
away from them. And so,
yes,
you know, and so when they took their last breath, I didn't have that guilt because I did what I could.
right, right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and if you are not, and I want to say, if you're not doing what you need to do for your parents, it's never too late. They still living.
Mhm.
You do what you need to do now.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
do it now. Thank
Mhm.
you, Miss Loretta.
Okay. And again, everybody, we say thank you so much. We'll be on next week. And I think I'm gonna try to find a way to get some Christmas gifts and we're gonna play some games and have some fun. May not be nothing big now, maybe a notepad, maybe a calendar or something, but we
Count
just
me
want
in.
to have
I'll
some
give
fun,
you a donation. I'll make sure
you
you get a
know.
good.
So we can just give away something to you and say thank you for all the support that you give. Because
Really,
these are wonderful people that be on a Monday and
they
Tuesday night.
are.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
really
so
wonderful people,
blessed.
and I'm thankful for them. And when I was sick last night, I got so many inboxes, and I want to thank them for that because there was just no way I could do it last night. Yeah, but it was a
Thank you,
great show,
Freddie, for
Sandra. But Keisha's number, her work number, you can go back in the feed. Is up in there if you need to call her, and her website. Because you may know some seniors here in the area that need a little bit of love and a little bit of help. So she have the resources to lead you to where they can go.
yeah.
Okay. So
Thank
that's it.
you.
That's it, everybody. And thank you so much again. All of you, you've been wonderful tonight. And we appreciate you so very, very much. And have a
Thank
great night.